to me and my uncle.
NFL Weekly Rundown, Week 9. Danny, there is a lot to discuss.
Including the
Say it.
Bears.
Yeah, we're going to have to just rip the Band-Aid off and talk about it, right? The Bears didn't play well for about 2.5 or 3 quarters. They took that late lead, and then what happened?
Hail Mary.
Jaden Daniels, and remember last week when we talked, we didn't even know if Jaden Daniels was going to play.
Mm-hmm.
He only practiced a little bit on Friday, played the whole game.
And we didn't know if Cooper Kupp was going to play, and he played.
Puka Nacua.
And we thought Puka Nacua was for sure not going to play.
I know, that's the
and
thing
then
about...
he comes in and plays.
That's the thing about when we do this on Wednesday. We only have as much information as we have today.
Mm-hmm.
So it can change over time because sometimes guys get injured later in the week or sometimes they might get a little healthier. But Daniels, he hit that pass, and I just showed you the video. Tyreek Stevenson basically trying to pump up the crowd for 4 seconds with his back turned to the play, not paying attention. Do you know what his job was on that play?
To block it.
To box out the guy who caught it. He was supposed to stand in front of the guy who caught it. And instead, for 4 seconds, he's pumping up the crowd. And then he sees, oh no, the play's going on. Runs over there. He's the one that batted the ball. It was somebody else's job to bat the ball. His job was to defend the receiver. If I'm the coach, I tell Tyreek Stevenson after that game, I say, I got 2 jobs for you, Tyreek. You can pick which one you are. You can be the starting cornerback for the Chicago Bears, or you can be the cheerleader next to me on the sideline. If you want to sit there and rev up the crowd and cheer, I got a spot for you right next to me here on the sideline. It's your choice, Tyreek. What is it? And he'd probably say, I want to play, coach, right? He's got to shape up. That was a dumb play. And he was bad the whole game. He gave up a long pass to Terry McLaurin, 60-yarder in the first half, if you remember that one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And he had a stupid penalty. He had a 15-yard penalty for pushing somebody in the face after the play.
Whoa.
And then he does that on the Hail Mary. That's a rough game.
I would probably bench him.
I'm thinking the same thing. I'm thinking, like, if you make that stupid of a play, what do you got to send a message to the rest of the team. Like, hey, if any of you guys do anything like what Tyreek Stevenson did, you might be benched too. So he has to do it. For at least a week, I feel like the coach has to sit Stevenson down and just say, this is your penalty. You know, there have to be consequences when you do something that bad. And the Bears, you know, they had other mistakes during the game. The fumble at the 1-yard line when they try to give it to Doug Kramer, offensive lineman. No, I would like an offensive lineman to score a touchdown. You don't do it when you're losing by 5 points in the 4th quarter with 6 minutes to go. You slam the ball with Rashawn Johnson right up the gut. Arg.
But they were up. They had a good touchdown at the end.
I mean, yeah, they got back. Yeah, they came back. They were down 12-0. They did fight back. But it just feels so hollow the way it ended. And then we could talk a little bit. I'm sure you watched the Vikings game against the Rams. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was kind of tough. And that was weird. It was like the offenses were great in the first quarter. Mm-hmm. And then the offenses didn't do anything in the second quarter.
Yeah.
But boy, Puka, he was tough to tackle. He was just taking short little passes and going up the sideline. Vikings couldn't really handle him. What were the other games last week? Any others that we should touch on, or should we get into the picks that we made last week? Yeah. Dallas, San Francisco was the night game. Giants
There was a
and Steelers.
pretty big blowout. Broncos, Panthers.
Yeah, I think the final was 28-14. Bo Nix played pretty good, but against the Panthers, I mean, come on. Here's what we did last week. We both won 11 games, and we both had a winning record against the spread with 9 wins. So, pretty good. And Grandpa won 11 games, but only won 6 against the spread. So mostly we did the same, except we did a little better than Grandpa did. Well, 3 wins better isn't a
How
little.
much did I lose?
You missed
5.
5 games.
Which were?
Yep, I can tell you. Vikings, Rams.
Oh.
You picked the Jets over the Patriots. That was an upset. But the Patriots won. We both picked Miami over Arizona. We both picked the Ravens over Cleveland. And if you remember, we were talking about, oh, I wonder who you're picking this game, Danny. Oh, yeah, gee, let me think. I'm taking the Ravens. And then Cleveland won it.
That's just crazy. First the Raiders, now the Browns.
The Ravens are kind of playing bad teams badly and losing to them. That's not good. It's like they can beat the Bills and they can beat other good teams they've played. But what? The Browns? And then the 5th game we both missed. Oof. The monsters of the Midway, the Chicago Bears. So on the season now, I have 79 wins, you have 77. You're still holding close at just 2 wins behind me. Against the point spread, you have a 12-game lead. You're crushing it. So that's good. I had a good week, but I'm still 8 games over, or 8 games under, just being even, just having as many wins as losses. So we have 15 games on a busy schedule. 2 teams have a bye. Pittsburgh, who is in first place in the AFC North.
They did pretty good against
Giants.
Oh, yeah, Giants.
Yep, and Monday Night Football. Russell Wilson's playing good in 2 starts. And then the other team that isn't playing this week, the 49ers, they beat
Dallas.
They beat Dallas in the Sunday night game. And now they're in a 3-way tie for first place in their division.
So that's not really good for Cowboys.
Right, yeah, that's a tough loss for the Cowboys. And I think San Francisco will get McCaffrey back after the bye. So, we'll see.
And you have him on your fantasy team,
I kind of need him back. I need that boost. Okay, let's get into the Week 9 schedule on Thursday night.
Texans, Jets.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard this. Well, let's first say the Jets are 2-6. The Texans are 6-2. The Jets are favored to win. What? I know. This might have something to do with it.
Oh no.
Stephon Diggs
Hurt?
out for the year. Hurt his knee. Yep. So Nico Collins isn't back. Yeah, Nico Collins is not back yet. The Diggs is gone for the year. Tank Dell is probably their best. I think he's a second-year guy.
He's their running back, right?
Nope, Joe Mixon's their running back. Tank Dell kind of was like their 3rd receiver, but now he's their best receiver who's healthy.
And Mixon is hurt? Or
Nope, he's a running back, and they actually leaned on him quite a bit, I think, to beat the Colts on Sunday. So, yeah, their other wide receivers are like Robert Woods. I picked up a guy in fantasy named John Mechie. I'm just taking a dart throw at this guy. I don't know if he's any good, but I guess I'll find out. And then the Jets. Oh, who's Aaron Rodgers going to blame for their last loss? They lost to New England. That's just a terrible loss, don't you think?
Yeah.
And that's a team
they
beat.
Both the teams are kind of bad.
Yeah, but Aaron Rodgers was supposed to beat that team. You know, the Jets, they were supposed to be a playoff team. Not even close. 2-6. So, what's your feelings about this Thursday night clash where the Jets are inexplicably favored?
I'm thinking they're going to hand it off to Joe Mixon and throw it to Tank Dell, and I'm picking Texans 37-21.
Okay, you got a pretty good blowout. I'm going to take the Texans too. I know they're banged up, but I think they're going to get it done. They got a good defense too, underestimated. 20-16, Houston. Okay, 2, 4, 6, 8 noon games. What is it? What's the first?
Dolphins, Bills.
If you remember, these teams played week 2, and it's the game Tua got hurt.
Oh, yeah.
Tua's back, but they still lost in the last seconds against Arizona on a field goal. My Super Bowl pick is now, I think, 2-5. Ugh. Yeah, they're in trouble.
It's not really good.
It's not good at all. Buffalo is now 3.5 games clear of the second place team in their division after whooping Seattle 31-10 in Seattle. So, rematch of that week 2 game. What do you think?
I'm still picking Dolphins.
Oh, you got an upset. All right.
31-21.
I've got a similar score. I've got 31-20. But I'm going to take the favorite. I'm going to take Josh Allen in Buffalo. Game's in Buffalo. Bills Mafia. I know Tua needs it. I mean, the Dolphins absolutely do need this win to even stay relevant this season. But I think something special is going on with Buffalo.
Now, here is, I'm saying it, a pretty good game.
Good by record, yeah. Both these teams would be AFC playoff teams if the season started today.
And I have a good game.
Yeah? Okay. What is it?
Broncos, Ravens.
Yeah, like I say, both these teams would be wild card teams if the season ended today. Denver beat Carolina, big deal. Bo Nix is playing better, it looks like, but if you play better against the Panthers, you kind of have to pump the brakes a little and see how you do the next week. Baltimore, like we said, what? You lose to the Browns?
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it. Here I was touting Lamar Jackson as the surefire expected MVP. Well, MVPs don't lose to the Cleveland Browns, who were, at the time were 1-6.
Mm-hmm.
So Baltimore kind of has to get things right, I feel like. And they're a big favorite. 9.5 points is what I show. So, yeah. What do you expect to happen in Baltimore on Sunday?
I have a close game.
I do have a close game as well.
I'm picking Ravens, though.
Me too.
21-20.
Good game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got Denver also covering the point spread, and I'm going to go with the Ravens 24-19 to win at home and kind of get the stink of that Cleveland loss out of the way. All right, here I wouldn't call this the greatest game of the week, but who is it?
Chargers, Browns.
LA thumped the Saints and would now be the final wild card team in the AFC if the season ended today. They're 4-3. Jameis Winston, technically the Browns' third-string quarterback, I think, came in and led the Browns to the first time they scored more than 20 points this entire year. They hadn't scored 20 until this game when Jameis Winston gets in basically for the first time all year, at least as a starter. So this game is in Cleveland. What do you think is going to happen on Sunday?
Well, I have another close game.
Mm-hmm.
Same kind of score as last time.
Okay.
And I'm picking Chargers 21-20.
I'm going to go on the other side of this one. I think Jameis Winston just has a little bit of magic going on. I don't really believe in the Chargers. I don't know. I'm going to take Cleveland 24-22, really only based on I think the Jameis Winston magic is at least going to last for another week or two. Next game on the slate.
Seems kind of like a blowout.
Oh, this looks ugly.
Saints, Panthers.
Yeah, this is a battle for last place in the NFC South.
No, this doesn't sound like a blowout.
Doesn't sound like a blowout? I know, both teams look good. Although when I tell you something, it might sound more like a blowout. I think Derek Carr might be back for the Saints. So Spencer Rattler's days are done.
Okay, I might actually change my score.
Yeah, so I think Carr is going to be
back.
back.
Have we even said the game yet?
I think you said Saints Panthers. Yeah, you did. Yep. And I heard that Andy Dalton's still dinged up that thumb. isn't going to allow him to play. So it's another week of Bryce Young, who on the season has 0 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, which is not good. So that is the story that I've got for this game. I see you've changed your pick, which is fine because Derek Carr kind of is a big piece to this equation. So what do you think is going to happen now that Carr is likely to play?
Like I said, kind of a blowout.
Okay.
Well, what I said first, but then I changed my mind.
Right.
I changed my mind again. I'm picking Saints, like you probably would have guessed.
And I'm going to do the Saints too.
31-20.
Okay. I'm going to take 23-17, New Orleans Saints. All right. We're through half the games at noon. What is the next one?
Raiders Bengals.
Yeah, this is kind of another crummy looking game. I think they only have 2 and 3 wins. Vegas hung close with the Chiefs, but ultimately they lost. Cincinnati got blown away by Philadelphia. And can you believe this? The Bengals now have 0 wins and 4 losses at home in Cincinnati. Guess where this game is? Cincinnati. So, are the Bengals going to get their first first win at home this year, or will their losing streak continue?
I hope the Bengals will win.
I figured you would think that, or hope that.
I'm picking Bengals.
I am too.
28-21.
I'm really close to you because I've got the same difference. I've got Bengals 27, Raiders 20. So we're thinking the same wavelength there. Okay, here is a game between NFC East rivals.
Commanders Giants.
Oh, still have to talk about the Commanders. Oh, they are now 6-2 after here. You don't have to get, or you didn't drop that. Okay. The Commanders are now 6-2 after the Bears blew that late lead that they had for all of about 20 seconds. The Giants battled into the fourth quarter against the Steelers, but they ultimately lost by 8 on Monday night. So you got the Commanders in first place, the Giants in last place in their divisions, and Commanders favored by about 3.5 points. Seems kind of low.
For me, I just have 3.
Okay, so about a field goal, yeah.
I'm picking Commanders because of their new really, 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 really good quarterback.
He is pretty good. I would give him that, yes.
37-21.
Good blowout then, 16 points. I'm going to take the Commanders too. I just don't think the Giants have enough firepower. Let's go 24-17, Washington. They'll keep the good times rolling in Washington. So here is a game between NFC foes.
Cowboys, Falcons.
Oh man, the Cowboys now 3-4 after they lost to the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, this game was a lot like the Dallas loss against the Ravens earlier this year. They just got in a huge hole, and then they fought back to lose within 6 points. I think they lost to Baltimore by 3 points. But you just can't get that far behind and still win games. The Falcons are now atop the NFC West after they completed the season sweep of the Buccaneers. They beat the Buccaneers in Tampa, and they beat them earlier in Atlanta. Falcons by 2.5. Is that what you have?
Yeah.
Yep. And your expectations, prognostications? What do you think's gonna happen?
I think the Cowboys are gonna get back and have another win.
Oh, road win. Okay.
To be 4-4. And the score I have is 28-21.
Okay. We're going to have another game here where we're different. I think Kirk Cousins, something about Dallas, they're just not getting it done. Their star Micah Parsons on defense is still not going to play. Their defense is really not playing up to the standard they set last year. So I'm going to go with Cousins and the Falcons, 28. Dak and the Cowboys, 24. And I'm going to tell you right now, this might be the worst game of the season so far. The final game at noon. Whoa.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh.
Patriots, Titans.
Yeah, I don't want to waste a ton of time on this game. New England 2-6, Tennessee 1-6. Drake May is in the concussion protocol.
Oh.
But they still won. He got hurt. Jacoby Brissett came in and they beat the Jets.
Who did they play? Oh.
Yeah, they beat the Jets. Tennessee just destroyed by the Lions, 52-14. And yeah, the Titans, another thing about them is they have 0 wins and 3 losses at home this year. Guess where this game is?
Tennessee.
Yep, home for the Titans. So the Titans are favored by a field goal in this AFC pillow fight. What do you expect? That means a snoozer.
Yeah.
What do you expect to happen in this one?
Patriots. Get it done.
Oh. Okay.
So that looks like the face that you're going with the Titans.
That is that face. But you tell me your score first.
Okay. Patriots 28. Titans 21.
Yeah, I mean, I really have no reason to pick the Titans other than neither of these teams is any good. So flip a coin. I think my coin ended up on Titans 17, Patriots 16. So maybe don't pay too much attention to that game on Sunday. I don't expect it to be an exciting one. Oh boy, we still have to talk about this team. What is it?
Bears and Cardinals.
Yeah, what a gut punch that we took on Sunday evening. Rough loss. The Bears are now 4-0 at home. They are 0-3 on the road. Where is this game?
Wait, what's it?
Well, it's
Don't
on
tell
the
me.
road. Yep, it's on the road.
Arizona.
Correct. Speaking of Arizona, they beat the Dolphins on a last-second field goal, and now they are one of those 3 teams tied for first place in the NFC West with Seattle and San Francisco. So which way do you think this one's going to go? And I'm going to warn you, you might not want to hear my answer.
I'm picking Bears.
Good for you.
Because that's the team I picked this year.
I like to hear it.
28-21.
I like your youthful exuberance. I like your optimism.
I'm not excited about your score.
I am an old, jaded man who has seen the Bears hurt me too many times. And when you get your hopes up and they do something like they did on Sunday, it hurts. I'm going to set the bar low so that I can't be hurt on Sunday. I'm taking the Cardinals. I'm taking them 19-17. I will cheer full-throatedly for the Bears, but I think they are going to fall at Arizona, and I'm fearful that the wheels might fall right off the train. So I hope you're right. I really hope you're right.
I really hope I'm right.
I want you to be right and restore my faith in the Chicago Bears football operation. Next.
Jaguars, Eagles.
You probably don't know this, but the coach of the Jaguars, Doug Peterson, won a Super Bowl with the Philadelphia Eagles. He was the coach of the Eagles.
How long was it ago?
Oh, maybe 6 years ago, 7. It was before Jalen Hurts was there. I would guess about 6 or 7 years ago.
Who was their quarterback?
Nick Foles.
Was he good?
Not, I mean, if you look at his career stats, no. but for that like brief 1 year or 1.5 years, he just kind of he got lightning in a bottle, and he was good. I mean, he was good for the Eagles. He was the right quarterback for that team. I would say that.
Who was their best running back or wide receiver?
Now you're grilling me. I'm trying to remember who was on that team. I don't. A.J. Brown was not. Devontae Smith was not. I would have to think hard about.
Was DeAndre Swift?
No, he wasn't on that team. Oh man. Well, I knew Trey Burton was a guy who like threw a pass to Nick Foles. They beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. Well, let me think about that, and I'll look it up after the game, after the show, and tell you. Okay. But getting back to this Jags-Eagles game of 2024, we got Jacksonville played the Packers really close, but they lost on a last-second field goal to their ex-kicker. A guy who used to be on the Jaguars now kicks for the Packers, and he made the last-second field goal against his old team. The Eagles stayed hot with a third straight win with their blowout victory at Cincinnati. The Eagles are favored by 7 at home. What do you see going down?
I'm picking the Eagles.
Yeah, I am too.
28-21.
Oh, really close to my score.
Oh.
Eagles 28, Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars 20. So we are dialed in on that one. Oh boy, this looks like a just clash of titans in the NFC North.
So good game?
Titans are, yeah, I mean, not the Tennessee Titans, just clash of very good teams, let's call it that.
Lions are playing at you-know-who stadium.
Yeah, Lions are traveling to Lambeau to take on the Green Bay Packers, and the winner will be in first place in the NFC North.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we talked about it a little bit when we talked about the Titans. The Lions obliterated Tennessee and have now won 5 games in a row. The Packers, Jordan Love was injured. Malik Willis came in. They still got the win. And I heard earlier this week that the injury that Love suffered is not serious. So I think he's going to play in this game. The Packers have won 4 in a row. So you got a team that's won 5 in a row against a team that's won 4 in a row. The 2 hottest teams in the NFC. The only team hotter in the AFC is the Chiefs, who haven't lost all year.
I don't like what you just said about the hottest teams.
No.
Because of you-know-who.
Because they're in it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe the Lions can stop that hot streak. What do you think?
I have the Lions on this game, so.
Okay.
And the score is Lions 31, Packers 28.
Good game then, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you got the Packers actually covering the spread. I've got the Lions covering the spread. I'm going to go Detroit 27, Green Bay 20. So there's one more game at 3 o'clock, and it's a battle of NFC West foes.
Rams Seahawks.
Right. The NFC West is tight. I mean, we talked about there are 3 teams at 4-4, and the Rams are just behind them at 3-4. So this is a hotly contested division. The Rams have won 2 in a row, but are 0-3 on the road this season. Seattle got blown out by the Bills and have now lost 3 games in a row at home. So here you've got the Rams. Well, they haven't won on the road all year. And the Seahawks have failed 3 times in a row to win at home. So what gives? Who's going to win?
I actually have the Rams this game.
I kind of thought that you'd go that way, and I did too.
10-point win.
Oh, kind of a big game. Okay.
Rams 31, Seahawks 21.
I've got the Rams 26, and I've got the Seahawks 24. And we've got 2 more games, and this is a Sunday night game that I know you will be interested in.
Oh, Vikings, Colts.
Yeah, the Colts. Anthony Richardson against Houston.
Did he play really bad?
He only completed 10 out of 32 passes, which is awful. And the other thing that he did, I don't know when it was in the game, but he said, "Hey, coach, I'm too tired. I'm tapping out. I got to come out of the game." If you are a starting NFL quarterback, you don't get to tap out. You don't get to say, "I'm tired," or "I got a little boo-boo. I kind of need to rest on the sideline for this play." No. You get out there and you lead your team and you play. He got benched. I think he got benched partly because he's playing terribly, and partly because the other guys in that locker room are looking at him and saying, "Hey, Richardson, you don't get to come out." Like the offensive lineman, he said as much in a press conference. He said, "Look, I don't get to tap out of this game." You don't see offensive linemen saying, "Hey, coach, I need a breather." They stay on there every single play. And that's what the quarterback's supposed to do too. So you wonder, what is Anthony Richardson's future in Indianapolis as they switch to veteran Joe Flacco, who, if you remember, he actually led the Browns to the playoffs last year. Yep. And as for the Vikings, they've lost 2 in a row. Their left tackle, Christian Darrisaw, is like a superstar left tackle. He's the guy that blocks for Darnold.
Really good.
He's a star left tackle, and he got injured for the season against the Rams. They did try to solve that problem of losing their left tackle by trading for a guy from the Jaguars, who has actually been pretty good in the past, I think. So this Cam Robinson is probably going to come right in and be expected to be the left tackle, protecting Darnold and then blocking for Aaron Jones when they run. He's going to have to come in and be, he's not going to be as good as Darrisaw, but he's got to be serviceable. So do the Vikings get back on the winning track this week against the Joe Flacco-led Colts?
Well, Joe Flacco's pretty good.
He's pretty good. He's pretty old, but he's pretty good. I mean, I don't know, pretty good. He's a pretty good backup.
Yeah. He's
But
not
now
great at starting.
And now he's starting. So, I don't know. He did win a couple games as the star. I think he went 1-1 in a couple games with the Colts this season. Which way are you leaning?
I'm still picking home team Vikings.
I'm picking the Vikings too. Skol.
31-21.
Okay, you got a 10-point win. I've got an 11-point win for the Vikings. Let's go 28-17 Minnesota. And if your mom's out there, we got 1 game left. 1 game warning. Okay, it's Monday night. It's it's an okay game.
Not the best game.
Not the
but I have a pretty good score.
Okay, who's playing?
Buccaneers Chiefs.
Yeah, Tampa Bay has lost 2 in a row. Now they have to travel to Arrowhead Stadium, one of the hardest places to play in football, and take on one of the best teams in football. Chiefs, maybe the best team in football. I mean, they do have 2 Super Bowl wins in a row.
7-0.
7-0 is hard. It's hard to be better than 7-0.
Yeah.
If you want to play 7 games. If you remember last week, I mentioned, Mahomes and Kelsey aren't playing that great, and all these defensive players are really kind of doing their part. Chris Jones and Leo Chanel. Well, Mahomes and Kelsey each had their best game of the season in their win at Vegas on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So, look out, rest of the league, if Kelsey and Mahomes start rolling.
Yeah.
Because that defense is playing tough. Now, all of a sudden, if Kelsey and Mahomes are playing up to how they normally play, who's going to beat them? Is Tampa Bay?
I mean, maybe they're going to be undefeated the whole season.
Whoa. Do you know how many teams have done that?
Were the Ravens last year until they lost to the Chiefs?
No, because they must have lost some game in the regular season. They didn't go undefeated. The last team that went undefeated in the regular season was the New England Patriots. I think it was 2007.
Patriots are horrible now.
Well, but they
Tom
had Tom Brady and they had Randy Moss.
2
2 surefire Hall of Famers, first ballot guys. And then they had, they were dominant, but then they played in the Super Bowl and they lost. So you're not undefeated if you lose in the Super Bowl. The only team that's ever gone undefeated through the regular season and won the Super Bowl, 1972, before I was born, the Miami Dolphins ran the table. They won every single game they played.
Who did they play in the Super Bowl?
Washington. I think they beat them 14-7.
Who was their quarterback?
Bob Greasy was the Dolphins quarterback. Yep. They had really good running backs. They had Larry Zonka, Mercury Morris, Jim Kick, I think was their third guy.
Was he a kicker?
No. He was not a kicker. So let's see. What do you think's going to happen in this one?
I actually, surprisingly, have a pretty close game.
I've got Tampa Bay covering the point spread, if you do.
I got Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
Like always.
Of course.
38-31.
Yeah, I'm going to pick them till they lose, So I'm on the Chiefs wagon too this week. Let's go Chiefs 24, Tampa Bay Buccaneers 17. And that is week 9. So, how do you feel about your picks?
Hopefully good after the season, or the week.
Yeah. I'm really hopeful.
Especially that Bears game.
I'm hopeful that your optimism will power through and that the Bears get a W. Because our show is called Me and My Uncle, shout out Phil Lesh, the late Phil Lesh. He passed away between the time we had our last episode. So let's give him some love, peace, and let's do this because we have to. Go Bears, get your bleep together. I don't want to see another game like that.
Yeah.
Bye, people.
Okay.